What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Rally Point. If you're new here, make sure you share the stream. It helps out a ton. I hope everybody is staying warm out there. Everybody across the country is either getting freezing rain, a ton of snow. I know here we woke up and it was, I think we had something like 10 inches of snow on the ground, and it's been snowing ever since. We've been on a level 3 all day. I hope you guys are staying warm. And if you're in Florida, I hate you. No, but I hope everybody's getting through the weather. I hope everybody's had a great weekend. The kids are still here, so they're watching right now. I love you guys. We have a great show for you guys tonight. We announced a new project we're going to be working on. I hope you guys are excited for that. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about, we're going to bring a guest on to talk more about that, more in depth, and why it's important to do what we're doing. I think, once we see the bigger picture, we can learn a lot from it, right? We're going to then go into also our nonprofit of the week. But then I'm going to do something a little bit different that I haven't done yet. So stick around with us. I hope you guys are excited. Let's go. This show is getting bigger and bigger. The channel is getting bigger and bigger, and it's because of you guys. So before we get started tonight, I want to thank each and every single one of you guys out there that have, been behind us since day one. Not only been behind us, but shared our posts, shared everything that you could, and been a part of the community. This channel in itself has helped out a lot of veterans, and I'm one of the veterans that it's helped. Being able to talk to you guys every single day, well, some of you in my group I talk to almost every single day, but not only that, being able to sit down and do this show every single Sunday is something that has been amazing to me. So I want to thank you guys for supporting everything that we've done. And I cannot wait, and I know I've said this before, I cannot wait to see what 2026 brings us, because we are already coming up with great ideas that I haven't seen done anywhere. So thank you so much for doing everything that you're doing, because it's working. The word's getting out there that there is a show out there that is doing great things for veterans, letting veterans talk. It's great. It is awesome. It's more than I ever expected for this show. How we doing, Jacobson? Hey, Tim, how we doing, buddy? If nobody knows this, which I don't know why you would know this because I haven't told you guys, Tim Johnsey is actually making a website for Operation Intel. So he's taking the time out of his schedule to build a website for us, and I want to thank him because he has been behind the scenes doing the Sean Ryan show. He's tagged us in a number of things, which I'm grateful for. So thank you. How we doing, LT? Happy Sunday, guys. Let's get into the clip of the week. Or not the clip of the week. Actually, yeah, let's do the clip of the week first. If you guys don't know what we're working on, if you have no clue what we're working on, if you haven't been on the page, the original idea behind the 22 nonprofits in 22 days was a 22-hour live stream where I was going to bring on 22 different nonprofits in those 22 hours. Do it sort of like your old school marathon mixed with like the new school where you see them on Twitch and stuff, which I think would be great. But it was brought to my attention that my audience would probably not be up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning. Well, some of us, right? But so the idea was to do 22 days straight of going live with you guys and talking to 22 different nonprofits. And I wanted to announce it in a pretty cool way. So, okay, sounds great, LT. I wanted to announce it in a pretty cool way. I wanted to do a video. So, this is the video that was released earlier this week.
Don't ever think that you can't get to where you need to be. There's always a way to pull yourself out of it.
What you're going through sucks right now, but it'll get better.
Somebody is there for you. Whether it's a battle buddy or a random stranger, call me, call somebody, talk to them.
The last question I ask every single veteran I talk to, what advice would you give to a struggling veteran?
No matter what you go through in life, good, bad, or indifferent, just have that walk with Christ and that talk with Christ, man. When you need him, he's there. He's always there.
I guess I would say pick up the phone. I know it sucks. I mean, because all of us have that mentality is like, I'm 10 foot tall, bulletproof, and I can do this. But you can't.
We lose 22 veterans a day to suicide. So instead of talking about it, we're taking action to end it.
But being home is a success. Like, looking at, a lot of us have already stared 40 in the face, and are on the other side of it. I'm 44. I was a little older when I went in. It's like, you're still here, dude. It's almost like 20 years later, and you're doing it.
Talk to somebody. And don't stop talking to somebody. Even if it's just something little, something stupid. Or that seems stupid. Talk anyways.
What we're about to do is something that's never been done before. So I hope you're ready.
Talk to someone. You can see people every day, all day, but until you actually talk to them, you don't know what they've seen.
Find Jesus. Because all that hope, all the love, you don't have to, the Holy Spirit is within each of us.
So I'm happy to announce 22 nonprofits in 22 days. Meaning for 22 days straight, I'm going live with a brand new nonprofit where their goal is to help struggling veterans. So if you know of any nonprofits that help struggling veterans that need a spotlight, send them our way. Together, we will end that number 22.
Don't give up. You are an example. But you got to figure out what kind of example you want to be.
So originally that video was going to be just of some announcement, right? Then I got the bad idea to call Nick Crouch. And he goes, Tim, he said, because I was going to release a clip of the advice the veterans are giving. And he said this would be a perfect time to release it. So I sat up. That video probably took 10 hours, but I think it turned out amazing. It gave the people who watched that video heard your voices, heard the advice. I didn't get to get everybody's advice out there, but it took a while, right? Just to clip them and stuff like that. I thought it turned out amazing. I'm glad you love it, Tiffany. How we doing, Chad? But the response from it, we are getting some really good responses. Right now, what we're doing is we are gathering up as many nonprofits as we can. When we talk about these nonprofits, these aren't, the well-known ones. If you know anything about this channel, I don't want the well-known ones. That's something that we're going to go over tonight. The reason why we don't want the corporate nonprofits. And it's something that needs to be said within the veteran community. And, it hits different when you have a grassroots nonprofit actually doing great things for veterans. So, tonight's going to be a little bit different. I'm not going to give you a nonprofit of the week. And the reason why I'm not giving you a nonprofit of the week is because the nonprofits that I'm going to be going over the 22 days, I want them to be spotlighted on this. So, after these 22 days, I will go back to doing a nonprofit of the week. But until then, I'm not going to do one because I believe that they need more time to tell their stories and why they started these nonprofits. So, I think it's a great idea to do that, even though I know it says it right, hold on a second, right here, that we're going to be doing a nonprofit. Sorry, guys, I lied to you. But these nonprofits are going to be helping average soldiers in need, whether that be from homelessness to, helping out with bills to helping rehab. We want to touch on all of that. So, tonight, you're going to see a familiar face on here. I'm going to bring him on. This has been me and this guy really throwing ideas off of each other. And he's been doing a lot of work behind the scenes. So I want to bring him on here. You guys know him well if you're a part of this channel. Let me get him off of mute. Hold on a second, Nick. You know me and this daggone computer sometimes, man. There we go. You are live, buddy.
What's up, Tim?
Another day in snowy Ohio, buddy. Another day in snowy Ohio.
I think I'd take snow over this freezing cold and rain right now, though, man.
Brother, it's cold here. It's supposed to be down, I think, -5, -6 this week up here. And then this snow, I was telling you earlier, I let my dog out and I lost one of them out there. She was jumping around. She's so small. But it's up above the lawn chairs I have out there. It's insane. And that was earlier today.
So what you're saying is it's over your head.
I hate you.
I saved that one from earlier. I could have pulled that out earlier. But
I figured there was going to be a joke somewhere in there. It wouldn't be you without a joke, buddy. We have been going over the nonprofits for a while now, man. And, I called you, what was it, last week, and I said, I want to do something like a 22-hour stream. And you were the one, you said, Tim, your main viewers are not going to be up at the wee hours of the morning. And I didn't even think about it. And then we came up with the idea of 22 nonprofits in 22 days. Tell me what you're looking forward to with that.
Man, I'm looking forward to like some of these grassroots organizations that are pouring their soul into helping veterans be able to get the word out. There's a lot of little guys out there and ladies doing a lot of big things. And I can tell you from firsthand experience, when they say nonprofit, they mean they're running their debit card to put on events for veterans or whatever it is that they're doing. You know, people who start these organizations, um, the amount of sacrifice that they go through, time, monetarily, sanity. You know, when you reach out and you say, hey, if you need somebody to lean on, here I am. That's a monumental task. And I think that those people deserve to have their voice heard. And I think that they deserve some of the community backing that is out there for veterans.
I 100% agree with you. And you are one of the guys, actually, you're the main person that has been pushing me more and more towards nonprofits. And what got my attention, well, first of all, what got my attention was Barnside Brotherhood, right? You know, the sacrifices that those two make and the type of people they are made me think, you know, I really want to spotlight these nonprofits, because here's the thing, right? And we've talked about this many a times. They're not corporation. They're not a corporation. They're not a, I'll just say it, they're not a Wounded Warrior Project, right? Sure, they've helped out some veterans, I'm sure. But, you know, you know where I'm going with this, because every veteran does, right? The thing that sticks out to me is that these grassroots nonprofits are, some of them are struggling, man, to keep their doors open, to help. Yet you look at a place like the Wounded Warrior Project, who is all over TV, all over anything you see, and their top executives are making over $500,000 a year. It blows my mind. And then not only that, you know, I know you have looked into what all kinds of events that they've put forth. I want you to talk about that compared to the veteran need to what they're doing. Because in my opinion, places like that, I'm sure they've done good, and I'm not going to say that they haven't. Anytime you can help a veteran is great. But when you're bringing in, what'd you say their average, it was like $394 million they bring in a year?
I think it's close to 350, I think, three something, yeah. Close to $350,000 a year.
Nick, what kind of good could you do for veterans with $350 million a year?
Oh, man, I don't even know what $350 million smells like, brother. But man, I honestly, Tim, I can't speak to how I would manage $350 million a year. What I will say is that when they report the number of veterans that they support, I'm one of those numbers that they claim to support. When I was injured in Iraq, we were all hustled over to a Cracker Barrel with a WWP representative, and then they were like, yeah, just fill this out here, free pancakes or whatever. And they really boosted their numbers through doing drives like that. So basically what they were doing, they were going to military bases. They were getting with the command of the Warrior Transition Battalions for injured veterans, and they were mass signing them up like a roll call. And I can't speak to who Wounded Warrior Projects is serving, but I can tell you this: it's not in my community. I think if you live somewhere with an NFL stadium, it's probably a good chance that they're serving that community. If you know what I'm saying, they're in big cities with big lights and big cameras, and I'm sure they've helped a ton of veterans, man. I'm sure they've helped a ton of veterans, but I don't know many of them. And out at 300. I think in 2024 they reported like $350 million, and out of that 350 million, I believe 100 million of that was spent as like 72% of it goes back to veterans. And the other, the rest of it, $100 million is like salary for employees and stuff like that.
And by all means, pay your employees, right? The bigger you get, you got to pay your employees, and that's great and everything, right? I'm not taking away anything about that whatsoever, but I can tell you this. I'm on the same boat as you when it comes to, okay, where have they been? I don't see them around. I see them on TV.
Yeah.
But I think I may know one soldier that benefited from them. And that's me being kind of iffy, not sure if that was the group that helped him or not, right? So
I know a couple guys. I know a couple guys that rub elbows with him a little bit. But I mean, I just don't see them in my community. I'm pretty tied into the veteran community in Louisiana for sure. The Gulf Coast. I mean, I speak with veterans multiple times a year at events that are on the Gulf Coast, and I don't know. It just seems like to me, $250 million. I'd bump into a guy every now and then that they've helped with something, and it just I just don't see it, man. And that could be my fault. Look, I'm not pointing fingers here, and the purpose of this thing isn't really to bash Wounded Warrior projects, but I have a soft spot in my heart for guys like Jason Sadatol. I've sat and I've talked with him, and I've looked him in his eyes, and I know the emotion and the dedication that he has to the program that he's putting together, and how much that means to him. And I want people like that to know that what they're doing is heard and seen.
100%. Last week we talked to Lori Kendall, right? And it kind of brought me back to what my uncle had done with his nonprofit because of my cousin dying in Iraq. Talking to her really put talking to Jason first, and then her was like, gosh, I've got to get these out there because they're not even being recognized really, right? And that needs to end. So what they're doing, first of all, both of those organizations are amazing. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, go back on the other rally points and watch it because they're amazing stories. But I think where most of these corporations, and let's be honest, Wounded Warrior Project isn't the only one, but where they fall short, in my opinion, is you get these people that are everyday people really supporting the veterans, but the problem is that's the only one that they know of, the Wounded Warrior Project, right? Instead, I think, and I talked to you about this earlier, donate to a local nonprofit. I'm not telling you where to spend your money. That's not on me. So don't think that I'm telling you where to spend your money, but if you want to help local veterans out, and I'm sure your community has local veterans that are struggling, find a nonprofit that's around you that's helping local veterans. I'm not going to say it. I can't tell people where to spend their money. I want them to know that, these grassroots places are really doing big differences. And the proof is sitting right here in front of you guys.
Yeah, I think another important thing too, Tim, to keep in mind too is like if you're in a small community, and when I say small community, outside the one or two major cities in your state, and you want to see veterans in your community healing and getting better, find the people that are helping them in your community. I'm not telling you to look for anybody specific. If it's Wounded Warrior Project helping guys in your community, then by all means support them. Go out there, talk to a veteran, ask them, hey, has anybody reached out to you? Has anybody helped you, right? And if so, who's helping you? Find those people. But I think what ends up happening a lot of times is, and this is not anything to do with large or small nonprofit organizations supporting veterans, but a lot of times they'll tend to start supporting ego instead of touching souls, right? And so you gotta be. I'm going to tell you from my perspective, just my perspective. Really applying yourself to trying to help a veteran, especially as a veteran myself with my own struggles. I don't even want to take on the monumental charge of having $350 million to support veterans because in order to really support a veteran who's struggling, you have to give up a piece of yourself. Like plain and simple. If you're going to do that, you're going to have to give up a piece of yourself to really, really break through and help a veteran that's struggling. You are going to give up a part of your well-being, your sanity, your time, your money, at least for a little bit. You're going to see that return on the backside when that guy or girl has the breakthrough, but it's not. Helping veterans is not all fun and games. It's serious business, man. And like when your phone rings, you know that. So the people who are doing that, the people who are fielding those phone calls, the people who are grabbing guys by the collar and yanking them out of the funk, if you talk to them, you'll feel it. You'll know.
Yeah, and what you just said brings a lot of substance behind it because you were in a position where you were asked to go out to the ranch and said, yeah, okay, I'll do it, right? And you almost got tricked to going out there. But that on the back end of that took somebody caring, right? That took somebody saying, you know what? He needs help, and I'm going to be the one that helps him. And if nobody knows this, and if you've watched this channel before, you know that Nick works a regular job and then goes straight out to the ranch or whatever you do before you got to the ranch, but you spend 20 hours a week out at the ranch or something like that?
If the weather is good, Monday through Friday on my week to work Friday, I spend about 3 hours a week at the ranch, physically at the ranch. And then, 3 hours a day, sorry. So average out about 15 hours on that week. And then on my Friday off, I spend the entire Friday there. So 3, 6, 9, 12 plus, let's say 8, 20 hours, 15 to 20 hours. If I don't go on the weekend, yeah, I spend out there.
Yeah. And what I'm saying is that, that's helped you out a lot, but it takes somebody on the back end caring. And I'm not saying these programs don't help and they don't care. But in your community, that you're going to find these people that actually want to help. You're not just another number to them. And I think that that's what we're going for. One of the things that I'm excited for is something that we've talked about, me and you, on the phone, that we want this 22 nonprofits in 22 days to touch coast to coast. We want all different, from the regular nonprofits to the all-female nonprofits, which we've got something really special for you guys cooking up on that one. I'm excited for that one. What do you think something like this is going to do? What are you looking forward to? I know I asked you that earlier, but what do you think that the end goal to this is going to be for you?
My hope is that through this process, we can get the message across to veterans across the United States of all shapes, sizes, doesn't matter. I don't care what your service background was. I don't care what your gender is. I don't care what your MOS was. I don't care if you were a Navy SEAL or you worked in the F shop. If you're a veteran and you're suffering and there's a place you can go to get help, we want to make sure that the word gets out about it.
100%. And I think we're going to be doing this the right way. I'm starting to gather up some of them. You've been a big resource for me. Crystal Helmuth, Mikey's working on some, and I know I'm missing somebody that sent me one. But I'm looking forward to it, man. I'm starting to figure out the schedule and stuff like that. But the goal is to go live 22 days in a row. And I think we're going to do two things with that. Number one, we're going to gain more followers on this channel. What that means is the content that's coming out is going to touch more eyes. And when we do that, then we're going to help more veterans out. And then once they start seeing the content, then they know that they have a local nonprofit that can help them as well. So those nonprofits are also helping the channel, and the channel's helping these nonprofits. And hopefully we can make a dent in this system, because we've got to.
Yeah, I think it's important, man. I think it's important for people to have a place to go where they can share what they've been through with like-minded people, right? And like, one thing that I always tell people is that, a lot of times you'll get like, what I went through isn't anything compared to what you went through, describing like our time in Iraq and all. And I tell them all the time, I'm like, please don't alienate me and put me out on an island. The worst thing I've been through is the worst thing that I've been through, right? It registers the same way as the worst thing that you've been through. And man, my idea of helping veterans isn't that veteran turning in a resume to me before, and then I read the resume and say, oh, I don't know, man, you didn't do enough. You weren't a high enough rank. You weren't in a elite enough unit. My idea of helping veterans is a veteran says, I'm struggling, and I say, okay, let's go. Let's get to work, right? And I think this is a way that we can impact veterans across the nation and kind of share that word. And look, if people don't like that idea of helping whatever veteran struggling, then they'll separate themselves out, and they're going to help who they're willing to help by whatever standards they set. But somebody out there is going to be helping that veteran through their struggle, and the least we can do is try to get the word out.
Yeah, and you brought up another good point where I think it's a cancer within the veteran community, right? You get these guys, but it goes both ways, because what you just said was, I didn't go through the same stuff you went through, but you also have those guys that say just the opposite. You didn't go through what I went through, and I think that is a giant cancer in the veteran community. Comparing, what you did overseas. Frankly, I don't give a damn if you were, a fobbit, and I do not care. I don't care. I don't care what branch you were in. It does not matter to me. That's what's got to stop. Before we can come together, we've got to end that, because my story is my story. Nick's story is his story. Whoever's watching this right now, you have your own story. We all have different stories and different backgrounds and stuff, and I think that's important. We dealt with something earlier this week that was like that. I'm not going to mention it, but it's dumb. Well, I can go off on a whole tangent on that, but I really want this to be something special for all branches, all walks of life, both genders. I don't care, as long as it's helping veterans.
Yeah, I agree, Tim. But you're going to have those people in every circle that you run in. It's it's got to do with ego and with pride, and some people need to put other people down in order to feel important. Um, my approach to life has changed tremendously, especially since finding my faith and starting that walk. Man, I don't have an ego. I'm broken. I'm trying to figure out how to survive, how to get better. Um, I have no clue how to help other veterans, but I'm willing to try. So there's that. There's no ego here.
No ego here either. I mean, if you guys can't tell, Nick's more of the calmer one, which it's sort of changed throughout the years. But I'll say something wild and Nick's like, but Tim, just so. But that's how this works. We have a group of people that are working. We just also started the nonprofit group that every time one is spotlighted or, on this 22 nonprofits in 22 days, when they're on the channel, they automatically get into a group of nothing but nonprofits. The idea behind that is to network with each other, because together they can figure out how to help more veterans, and I'm sure there's a bunch of legalities to all this. I'm sure of it. And being able to share, one thing that Jason said to me was, he was like, it's like a competition. He said it's ridiculous, and they think that what they're doing is, like, if you have a veteran, trying to pull them away from another organization is, you know what I mean? Like, we're all working for the same cause. I think that community is going to be great too.
Yeah. I mean, there's no reason why organizations supporting veterans would refuse to speak and share with each other, because I'm gonna just go out and make a blanket statement and say, if
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
you're the cutest guy on the stream for at least a few seconds.
I got you back. See, that makes me just want to just exit out of this and be like, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
So if you're a veteran organization trying to help veterans, and someone reaches out to you and says, hey, look, I want to step up and help veterans too. Can you mentor me? And you don't mentor that person, then you're not about helping veterans, because nobody can bear this burden on their own. Not even $350 million can reach all of us. So, nonprofits, if you ever started a nonprofit organization, or if you ever just tried to help veterans and reach out to somebody and ask for mentorship, and if you've never tried it, just go find 5 random ones online and shoot them a message. I guarantee you'll report back to me tomorrow that you're not super impressed with the fact that you're probably not going to get replies from 3 of the 5, I would say. Especially if they have some kind of notoriety.
Nick, I'll be honest with you. There was a time when I had first gotten married, and we were struggling financially. And I was like, well, I'll just reach out to some of these nonprofits. Maybe it'll get me through. Buddy, when I tell you that I had better luck going through nothing to do with veterans than I did with some of them, and I'm not talking about everyone, but the ones that I was trying to get a hold of, and they were the ones that, you type in to Google and you're like, hey, nonprofits that help with light bill or something like that, you can't find them. And if you do find them, let's say your lights are supposed to be shut off tomorrow or in a week, it takes them a month to get back to you. So you're not getting anything from them. You are, but it takes so long.
Well, and I'm not even talking about like financial assistance. I'm just talking about like, hey, I'd like to help veterans too. I see what you're doing. It's beautiful. It looks great. You're in, I don't know, Florida. I'm over here in Louisiana. I'd like to mirror that a little bit on this side. Can you mentor me a little bit? Like, what mistakes do I avoid? Just mentorship. You can't even get mentorship out of some of these places. It's just unbelievable, man. Like, but again, that's why we're gonna highlight. That's why we're gonna highlight these grassroots organizations that are out there grinding, making a way. Man, I've been digging in news articles, whatever it takes to try to find some good organizations that really look like they're trying to help people, and that's what we're going to present to people.
Yeah, and a good resource. I know Leonard had sent me a bunch of them. He is a great resource, and I'm gonna start reaching out to some of the ones. I have a list here, and I'm gonna start reaching out this week, and I'm gonna get them scheduled. So I don't have a date for when we're gonna start this yet, because the last thing I want to do is go 3 days and then have to cancel the 4th date because somebody didn't show up. And we've talked about this before. That's the hardest thing. I am big into if I make a promise to you guys, I want to make it happen, and I will make it happen. So don't have an exact date. What I am shooting for is the first week of February, maybe the second week starting it out. But you can be rest assured, once it starts, we're not stopping. We will not stop, and I'm excited about it. And if you are out there and you know of nonprofits, shoot me a message. But do me a favor. Some of these nonprofits that are on, Facebook, different platforms and stuff, they don't have a message button, and it's hard to get a hold of some of them. So if you have a contact for them, please send that, because that's the hardest thing, because searching for contacts and you're not getting emails back. We just talked about it. But I'm not going to accept every one of them. I want to see what they're actually doing too. And I think we've talked about that before too. This isn't just going to be throw some content out there to these guys, because I don't work that way, and I know you don't work that way. So these are going to be good nonprofits for you guys.
Yeah. I don't know if you saw today or not, but I'm really excited about the one we spoke about the other day. The person running that, check the personal Facebook from their events today. Absolute killer. Like, I thought I was excited before. I'm really excited now.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be sweet. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'll be honest with you. It's one of those things that I wanted to do. And I've told everybody that's followed this channel, I've talked to you so much. And I've told you, I want this show to be huge. And I've always wanted to do more. I felt like there was something I was missing, where I could go live more. I could do more. This is going to be cool, man. It's going to be a fun ride, and we're going to change some lives. And if we can help one veteran, and I've said this before, if we can help one veteran out, make their life just a little bit easier, man, this whole thing is a success. So I'm looking forward to it, man. And I did see that. But I'm also, one thing I will, and then I'm going to let you go. I'm coming down there on, first of all, before we get into the Gulf Coast thing, tell them what you got invited to. Well, we got invited to, right?
Oh.
And I did not, just say it. I'm going to get some laughs.
Oh, man, it's been a long week, but if I remember right, was it gumbo cook-off? That's what it is, right? Gumbo cook-off?
You know what the hell it is. Just yes.
Yeah, well, so we got invited. The funny thing about that, Tim, is one of the organizations that supports is Baton Rouge Soldier Outreach. And what they do is they pack those U.S. postal boxes full of goodie snacks to send to people overseas. You remember those we used to get?
I do.
Okay, so I've actually volunteered there twice, packing those packages with those guys. So that's pretty cool. But yeah, so they're having a gumbo cook-off on the 31st, and someone reached out to me and said that me, you, and Jason were invited. They wanted us to come out free of charge, and because of what we were doing on the show, so they reached out to me on Facebook, and yeah, invited us over, kind of like, guests to their event or whatever. And I haven't even shared this with you, but on top of that, like, I've been connected through that same person with a couple veterans that were struggling or whatever, and reached out. So those people really care about veterans, and they're doing what they can to help out. So there's another one or two organizations that event's going to support as well. I can't recall them off the top of my head. Like I said, it's been a long week for me, but yeah. So I'm going to try my best to attend that. I have full intentions of attending that and showing up. I feel like if someone's gonna reach out to us and say, "Hey, we see what you're doing and we appreciate it. Would you come out and kind of let us?" And I think it's $10 to get in, if I remember right, or whatever. But they were like, "This is free of charge. We like what you guys are doing. Will you come out?" Like, I feel like that's where we need to step up and stand in that gap and say, "Hey, we're here." God works in mysterious ways, man. I'm not sure exactly why I need to be there on the 31st. I don't have a whole bunch to offer, but who knows? I feel like that's where he's placing me, so that's where I'll be.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny because you had sent me the thing, and I said, oh, man, that must be nice going to a gumbo cook-off. What'd you tell him? He said, "Hey, Tim's not going to be able to be there, but I will." But in all seriousness, it's great to see some of these people reaching out and understanding what we're trying to accomplish, because that's what we're trying to do. This show is, I believe, helped a lot of veterans out. And if they're watching right now, thanks for the invite. Make sure you don't give Nick any gumbo, okay? For me.
Yeah.
But
hopefully they don't use Jaru like Casey does.
I'm not touching that one. Nope, I am not touching that. But another thing that I'm really excited about is talking to Emmerich. Can you, I got invited to come down to Louisiana at the end of August and be a part of a thing that he's putting on down there, and I will be down there for that, and I am looking forward to it. Even though me and Water don't get along, I will be down there. Just put some floaties on, right?
Hey, water's a tough thing when both ends of the pool are the deep end.
This is why I don't like this guy. This is why I don't. Well, listen, man. I love having you on the show. I know you've been busy this week. I'm going to let you go.
Well, you got to let me talk about Emmerich first, since you asked me to.
See, you are the brains behind this. All right. Go. Yeah, definitely talk about Emmerich a little bit. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, so Emmerich runs Gulf Coast Veterans with Terry Ronquillo. Both great Americans, neither one of them veterans, but just felt in their hearts that they wanted to do something for the guys coming back from war. And I couldn't even start to fathom the amount of hours, the amount of phone calls, the amount of sacrifices, the amount of time dedicated to veterans that these guys have underneath their belt. I would venture to say they've easily touched over 1,000 veterans, throughout their years doing this. And I mean, you're going to get to see when you come down in August, you're going to get to see what that's about. not only that, not only have they affected veterans, but they've created a culture where guys and girls coming out of their program are turning around and saying, we'll take the reins and we'll start to support veterans. Because like we talked about, man, this is a never-ending thing. We're never going to not have veterans. And there unfortunately will be more wars. What they look like, what that entails, I can't tell you. But it's just the nature of the beast. And like I said, I pray that we're the last class of combat veterans. I just don't think it's going to happen. But yeah, so I call Emmerich, at least in my own head, the godfather of veteran organizations down here. So I always like to give him some flowers, man, because he's touched a lot of lives, and now every life I touch, every life Jason touches, a lot of other veterans, Mike Savoy, we're all products of what Emmerich stepped up and did for us.
Yeah, and I'm really looking forward to having a conversation with him, because he's not even a veteran himself, from what I understand, but he just felt the need to be helping veterans, which is incredible. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be the first time in the almost 20 years that I get to see you, get to see your family. I'll get to see, I'm sure, Mac while I'm down there. And I'm excited, man. I'm not excited for the heat, but I'm excited to get to see you guys and get to experience it. I really am. So, all right, brother. Well, listen, it was great having you on tonight. Thanks for, staying up, because I know you've been working a lot.
Yeah.
And
hey, don't forget to Venmo my $20 for modeling this shirt for you either.
The shirt comes in slim fit. That's the reason. that's the reason why. And he's sort of puffing out his chest a little bit tonight. Did you guys notice that?
I knew I should have got the medium, not the small.
That's a schmedium you got on that. I have the order. All right, brother. I love you. I will talk to you later on.
Sounds good, brother. Appreciate you.
All right, man.
All right.
Give me 1 second here. Nick's one of my best friends. He is a great person. He is very connected when it comes to the veteran community, right? And if you don't know anything about Nick, he's been on this channel, like I said, a number of times. But he's somebody I got medevaced out of Iraq with. His family treated me like, a part of their family. I got to experience the Fisher House, which is 4 families. And got to enjoy my time in Germany with Nick and his mom. So it's weird how life brings you back together, and you're working on a project together. And all you guys out there that are helping me out, I'll reiterate this. Thank you so much, because we're going to do big things. Don't know when we're going to be launching that 22 nonprofits in 22 days. But I wanted to give you guys just a little bit more context behind why we're doing it and why we're stressing an importance on it. So, moving on from that, I'm going to do something a little bit different tonight before we get off of here. One of the things the thing that started this channel off was veteran interviews. And the more and more I do them, the more and more I can put the pieces together. Last Sunday, when I was talking to Lori, she opened my eyes up to something that I didn't even know existed, to be honest with you. And it got me into an interview with somebody that is very familiar with this channel. And I think what I'm going to start doing is this. instead of doing the trailers like I've been doing them, I think I'm going to launch them Sunday nights on here. So, this is a little clip of the interview that's going to be launching this week.
Speak up if you're having an issue. Because we've had too many soldiers, too many vets that have fallen to the stigma of mental issues are a weakness. And they're not. They are part of who we are, really. And they need to understand that there is help available. It may be hard to find, especially with the way everything's going right now. But there is help out there, and there are people who want to help. That's probably the one thing I would say.
So, first of all, that was a great conversation. It's almost a 2-hour interview that we'll be releasing this week. I'm excited for this one. I am going to be releasing that clip right there tomorrow. But since you guys are here, your guys' eyes are the first ones on that. That was a great interview with somebody I did not deploy with. If nobody knows who that was Tim Johnsey. I want you guys to see that. So, you guys, I'm looking forward to this 22 nonprofits in 22 days. I'm excited for it. I'm excited to hear from these guys, be better connected inside the veteran community. I want to get our names out there. I want to do something special that hasn't been done yet, and we're on our way. So, be looking out for that interview this week. I will release that clip tomorrow for everybody to see. And then the interview later this week. I will have an announcement sometime this week on a release date for the when we're going to start the 22 days straight. I want to make sure everything is lined up perfectly for us, though. I refuse to fail on this. So, again, if you guys want to see a nonprofit that's maybe helped you, reach out. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to see what this nonprofit, I'm trying to do coast to coast. This is going to be special, and I don't think it's ever been done before. Let's make this great. So, thank you guys so much for being on tonight. I hope you guys loved the show. I hope you guys are looking forward to this project. I hope you guys liked the way that I did the clip this week. If you didn't, tell me, which I'm sure you guys will. I get great feedback from you guys. So, happy Sunday to you guys. Stay warm, except for Casey Macaluso. I hope you freeze. No, all seriousness, I hope everybody stays safe out there. If you don't have to drive, do not drive. There's a lot of snow, a lot of ice. Stay safe, stay warm. I will talk to you guys next week on the Rally Point. Love you guys.